So what am I always like to leave like with kind of a general recommendation for people. I don't want people to kind of say, well, that was really abstract talk and I never got around. So, if we're talking about somebody who's like a 200-pound athlete, right? How would I construct recommendations based on the stuff I just told you guys? Let's say they wanted to do 5 meals per day, which over a 24-hour period is 1 meal every 4 to 6 hours, but over a 16-hour period where they're awake, it's every 3 to 4 hours. And your goal is 3 grams of leucine per meal. And they choose the following meal protein sources. Some eggs for their breakfast. You want 34 grams of protein. A meal of whey, 27 grams of protein, or 22 if you're using BiPro. 2 meals of chicken, 40 grams of protein. And then a meal of beef, 38 grams of protein. You'd end up with 179 grams of protein and probably right around 200 grams of protein after your miscellaneous protein amounts from starches and wheats and all that sort of thing. And then if you wanted to get fancy, maybe you put a branched chain amino acid supplement or carbohydrate in between each meal, okay? Now, there are some other considerations too, all right? And we talked about how weight might make a difference. A 100-pound woman probably isn't going to need the same amount of protein to be able to maximize muscle protein synthesis as a 250-pound linebacker, right? But also age makes a difference. As you age, you get less sensitive to the anabolic effects of amino acids. You need a greater proportion of leucine to increase muscle protein synthesis. Looks like anywhere from like 20 to 30%, something like that. Digestion rates of protein sources may play a role. Okay, not all proteins digest at the same rate, although they mostly digest at the same rate, and casein is just kind of the odd one. Total calorie intake. Remember we talked about how energy has an input. So if you diet, your protein needs in terms of maximizing muscle protein synthesis might go up because you have less total energy. Training intensity and duration. Research shows that you oxidize anywhere from 5 to 10 grams of amino acids per hour of intense exercise. So this doesn't make a huge difference, but it may make a difference. Protein degradation is another consideration we haven't even talked about. There's not a whole lot of good research on protein degradation out there, so that may also make a difference, how certain sources impact protein degradation. And countless variables. I always tell people, if you're coming to one of my talks, expect me to tell you, okay, meal 1 eat this, meal 2 eat this, meal 3 eat this, and it's the secret to everything, you're going to be very disappointed. I'm trying to give you concepts. But countless variables make it really difficult to pinpoint specific numbers, and that's why it's always important to recognize individual variability. But I'm trying to give you guys ranges that are going to get you very close in the ballpark.